Hello everyone, I am Datu Tim and these are the Modern Arnis Minutes. If you like our channel and our content, please subscribe and like. Feel free to share. And now it's time for your Modern Arnis Minutes. Welcome back to the Modern Arnis Minute. I'm your host, Datu Tim. So today we're continuing the COVID-19 lockdown series, forcing us to train in isolation. So today what we're going to work on is fighting combinations. I love to spar, but I can't because I don't have a training partner to do things with. I do, it's a family member, and if I was to hit the person, I might not have a family member, or I might die in my sleep when they take me out. So to prevent any kind of family disputes, I'm going to be using a Sentry body opponent bag, the Bob, today. You can use a pole in your basement. I would wrap that to keep any kind of noise. You could use a tree. There's so many different things you can do. You could just do it in the air if you'd like. So normally when I'm sparring against a live person, I try different combinations out to see what works, how they respond. Since Bob doesn't move, what I'm going to have to do is generate some random numbers. Now, I could do a whole bunch of different things and just start randomly pick things in your head, but you're going to lean towards certain numbers. So the first one we could do, what we might all have, is a deck of cards. Now, we've got two ways of doing this. The first way is I took out all the hearts. So I started with a 12-angle system. There's 13 cards in the heart suit. So I would eliminate or not count the king. So ace would be the number 1, 11 would be the jack, and the queen is 12. So the first way, what I can do is, as I do the angles, I don't repeat any of the angles of attack. So I will split this here. So I'll start off with a 9. I'll do a 2, and then I'll hit a 7. Another way I could do this is put multiple suits together. And as I pick out the cards, since there's going to be multiple suits, I have a good chance of having maybe a number 1 done twice, number 5 done twice, whatever, but it broadens the range of possibilities. So when we're doing our combinations, you can go, I recommend anywhere from 3 to 5 strikes. Okay. You could do a 2-shot combination. Usually what I find out, if you practice 3 and the nerves get pumping when you're actually sparring, whatever you train more for and you start shorting it, instead of doing, if I just do 2 attacks all the time, I'll have a tendency of doing onesies when I'm sparring. So if I practice for 5, I should be able to do 3 or 4 of those. It's easy to block or defend against 1 attack. It's much harder to do more. Now I also want to restrict on how many times I hit, because if I swing too many times, it just becomes rock'em sock'em roll-outs. It's not a piñata party. With a piñata, it's hanging and you get to hit it. The piñata gets to hit back. So we have to make some sense when we're doing this. Today though, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to use cards, I'm going to use dice. So I'm an old-time gamer, did Dungeons & Dragons back in the 80s. So I couldn't find my dice the other day, so I ordered a new set off of Amazon. I got 10 sets of dice, all colored, all different colors, for $14. Each set comes with a 4, a 6, an 8, a 10, 12, and 20-sided die. So what I would do is decide which angle number system I'm doing. I'm going to be doing the 8. I'm going to do 3-shot combinations, so I'm going to throw 3 of these, and I roll the dice. Now I've got a couple different options. I could assign a color to which is the first, second, and third attack and follow that structure. I could read left to right. I could throw the dice and say, I'm going to take whatever, but I'm going to put it in the order that I prefer. That's up to you how you want to do this. Now you say, well, I do Cinco Terrace. It's a 5-angle system. Fine. You use a 6-sided die. You roll it. Every time you get a 6, you re-roll that one. Okay. So you've got the structure, and now it's time for our Modern Arnis Minutes. Okay, so I'm going to go over the angles of attack first. and then the proper way to link strikes together, and then we'll do our combinations. So I'm going to do this left-handed so you can follow me. I am a righty. I will be doing this right-handed on the bob. But for those who haven't done our numbering system, I want you to be able to follow along and mirror what I'm doing. So angle 1 and 2 is the X. Angle 3 and 4 is side to side. 5 and 6 are the leg shots, the low X or V cut. 7 is an overhead strike, 8 is our thrust. This is what we teach our beginners. They can relate to it real easy because it is a forehand and a backhand done high, middle, and low. Numerically, with those strikes, 1, 3, 5 are all forehand strikes, 2, 4, 6 are all backhands. And then the last two, the 7 and the 8, those are our center line attacks. But right now, when you're teaching someone or trying to remember it, odds are forehands, evens are backhands. Now, what's the proper way to hit the bag or the opponent? But this is going to be my bag. Oh, all right, so normally when I'm just practicing the angles of attack, I bring it back, I hit, I bring it back where I came from, go to that next position, right? Well, that's not going to work in a fight. Because in a fight or sparring, a person's going to hit you back. So what I want to do is set up all my strikes. So I don't mind coming back if I'm hitting the same side twice, but if I'm trying to hit the other side, I don't want to go here, bring it back this way, pop, or bring it back here all the way over here. So if I'm doing angle 1 and 2, I'll hit a 1, bring it over here to the other side and back. I've been hit multiple times by that. What I want to do is hit through. So there's 3 ways to hit the target. There's a hit at, hit in, hit through. So I'm going to start, if I'm doing angle 1, 2, I'm going to 1, 2. I did them both all the way through. Pop, pop. Or I can do 1, 2 and do a hit at the end. What I'm doing is striking through to my next position. So if it's forehands and backhands, odds and evens, I will most likely do that follow through strike to transition to the next side. So if I'm doing 1 and 8, or I'm sorry, that's the old modern Arnis system, the full 12 angle system. If this is 1 and 6, I hit, bring it all the way through, pop. What it's also going to be doing is a more powerful shot. Now, I'm not trying to cripple my partner, but I'm also practicing what if I actually have to give someone a little rattan therapy someday. I want to be able to generate enough power to put the person down to stop the encounter, okay? Because I'm thinking if someone's attacking me and I'm using a tool like this must be a life-threatening situation. Don't want to kill the person, but I definitely want to drop them in a shot so they don't get back up and it's safer for everyone around. So, if I'm doing 2 on the same side, I'll hit, rechamber, then go to my next strike. So like a 1, 3, that's fine. Follow through if I'm doing forehand, backhand. So 1, 2, with the hit at, hit through, hit at. 1, 2, hit through. So hit at with the second one, or hit through with the second one. Which we're doing 3 shots. You might have a lot of hit through, and then that last one could be up to you. I like doing a lot of hit at the end because now I can put my stick in a defensive position afterwards. So hopefully I haven't gone off and talked too much. I have a tendency of doing that. So let's do this. I'm going to do three combinations here. So I'm going to go left to right. The purple's a 1, a number 5, and this one landed cockeyed because this is not a flat surface, so I'll roll it again. It's a 1, 5, 7. Okay. So 1. So high forehand, low forehand, overhead. Okay. So I go pop, pop, pop. Now, why would I do that? Well, this is a good one because I go up here and they hit me in the arm. If it's being done to me, I might try to block. So this, what it can be, is a fake or an abort. So the abort, I have every intention to hit, but if they happen to block, I abort the shot, hit low, and then go to my next position. So pop, pop, pop. Because when a block, the thing that make a block works is contact. So they're waiting for the stick to hit to do their next one. Just like if I'm hitting them in the head, let's say I start with the 7. Okay, let's say it was 7, 5, 1. If I go here like this, they start blocking that and go, hot, bang. So you can't sell a strike that you haven't thrown. So I throw the 7 to hit the person. Maybe I get them. So now they try to block, go hot, pop. Or I go through the block, sets up my next attack. Okay, so let's do another combination. Okay, 8-8-6. So that's a double poke and a low backhand. Now, so it's pop, pop here. In sparring, we may not do a lot of thrusting because it may not be as safe. I'm going to do this one. I'm going to change the combination though. What I'm going to do is 8-6-8. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to poke, I'm going to hit, I'm going to poke. Poke, hit, poke. Poke, hit, poke. Now, thrusts are much harder to hit. You can deflect off the body real easy. All right? So, when I go, I do my poke, I hit, I poke. I don't like it, but that's what the dice rolled, so that's what I do. We'll do one last one. I'm hoping for a good one because I want to finish strong here. All right. So, I've got a 6, a 1, and a 6. Not a bad combo. So the 6 is the low backhand. Here's the number 1. Here's that 6 again. Now, I'm not just going to do the combo. I'm going to tell you how things work. People are expecting headshots. We just talked about that with the number 7 attack. So if I hit the leg, the hands go down. It opens up that headshot, and then I can go back down where I came from. So what I do is pop, pop, pop. Pop, pop, pop. Pop, pop, pop. And what I might do is move my stick around so I come up here and bang. I hit from that position. I don't want this to be a because it's too predictable. But it takes time, you know. You'll figure out where you want your stick to be. So it's almost like we're doing our single Somali motion. So I'll go here for them to think I'm going to hit the head and go pop, pop, pop. Okay. I'm going to do my favorite. So I have my 1, my 4, and my 1. I have my kids do this. They tear things up. So what I'm going to do is do that number 1. It brings their block up. Come through that number 4 and back up to that number 1. So I'm here like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now the 1, 2, 3 is not the angles, it's the beat. So I did my angle 1, my angle 4, back up to my angle number 1. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed that. If you have any questions, my contact information is on the bottom, but datutim@gmail.com is my email. It's the best way to get a hold of me. Looking forward to seeing everyone face to face. I've got a few events coming up, so we have started doing a lot more virtual seminars, so feel free if you want to join any of them, give me a holler and I'll give you the information on that. I'm also doing our classes. You can train weekly at the headquarters virtually. So twice a week we have evening classes that you could log into and go from there. So once again, thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any suggestions on content, feel free to contact me. And those were your Modern Arnis Minutes.